In today's episode, I will be demonstrating RapidMiner's new extension called AutoModel in a clinical setting and directly through the eyes of a physician. In particular, a solution will be demonstrated able to represent the parameters providing additional predictive value and which not. In data science, this is called feature selection. I will also demonstrate that, by using combinations of features, we are able to reduce the complexity of a prediction in relationship to the error rate of a model. RapidMiner never believed in black boxes, but as important, the customer here, a physician, should be able to understand the added value of predictive modeling from a dummy perspective. We all know that this has been almost impossible in the previous years. Basically, because of the complexity to understand the mathematics behind the processes required to perform such analysis, as I will demonstrate further on. When focusing on the best suited visual representations of each step starting from raw data, analyzing your data and prepare it for modeling, including validation, the representations of the results will clarify your story and make it ready for use. Now, before I begin, the licenses for RapidMiner, as demonstrated, were kindly provided by the RapidMiner company. Thanks to the intensive research of the team of Dr. Ingo Meerswa, and based on his PhD thesis titled Non-Convex and Multi-Objective Optimization in Data Mining, the presented technology with the ability to use directly in a clinical environment would have been impossible. As clinicians, we collect a magnitude of parameters, called features in this context, in various time frames, like every second in ICU departments, up to only when a patient is admitted for a clinical exam or screening. From a physician's perspective, we all know that the more features are collected, the more complex the interpretation becomes. In contrast, we must admit our attitude to collect as much features as possible in order not to miss any relevant abnormality. It is important to define which tests are or measurements are providing the additional helpful information for a patient at a certain point in time. The number of features we collect might be no problem anymore to be digested by current computational power. But there is a lot to be said about the curse of dimensionality in this respect. In order to obtain a statistically sound and reliable result, the amount of data needed to support the result often grows exponentially with the dimensionality. Additionally, several scoring systems are implemented in our daily practice, which are frequently based on old modeling techniques not considered state-of-the-art anymore. Most of these scoring systems are still taken for granted or implemented as gold standard for decades. As we give preference to a real-time GPS system, it feels normal not to accept a GPS tool based on technology from a decade ago. So the time is there to reassess some standards we use based on modern predictive analytics, not at least because the measurements we implement are also sometimes time-consuming and costly. Redefining which features are essential in a unique medical context is not an easy task, and as we experience every day, the set of essential features is situational dependent. Reducing the number of features is also interconnected with the error rate of a predictive model we develop. In this episode, I will illustrate this crucial balance between the number of features selected with a predictive impact and the effect this has on the error rate of the model. The next step to feature selection is feature generation, which is in fact developing new features based on the existing feature set, providing a better prediction for a lower error rate. The real dataset used today is generated from patient admitted to the hospital for an ischemic stroke, which occurs when a vessel supplying blood to the brain is obstructed. The process starts by dragging the data from the repository and run the process. In the results, you get the features from 564 patients as used in this example: age, gender, National Institute of Health stroke scale, the initial modified ranking scale, the treatment, the aspect CT scale, the Dragon score, the initial blood glucose concentration, the occlusive region, the time between onset and admission to the emergency department, and finally, the clinical outcome. Although we could already visualize our data in this phase, let me directly demonstrate the AutoModel extension. In this example, I want to predict our outcome using a variety of predictive modeling algorithms. You will see now how easy this is. The outcome feature is selected as the column I want to use in my prediction, followed by clicking Next. In this example, I am interested in the features influencing a good outcome. We defined the outcome as good when the modified ranking scale at 90 days was between 0 and 2. Higher values were considered as other. We could also repeat the process, looking at a worse outcome based on the modified ranking scale at 90 days. After clicking Next, we get a quick view of the quality of our data. You get a notion of measures, such as the linear correlation between the data column and the target column, the IDness, the stability, the missing data, and the textness of your data. As the color-coded bubble indicates that all features are green, we select all features to continue. The next action is actually run the AutoModel extension. Although one could select all models provided, we only take some models just for this demonstration. One could also take a look at the website mod.rapidminer.com, which is quite helpful in choosing the right model depending on the task requested and the data available. One can immediately visualize the accuracy, the classification error, the AUC, etc., together with the computational time needed per modeling algorithm. By the way, the entire process and the XML code can easily be explored and used when needed. For each model calculated, you received your model, the weights of the attributes, a simulator, which I personally find very attractive because I immediately can enter the data of my next patients in it, and it provides me the prediction we just developed. Moreover, the performance, the lift chart, the optimal parameters, the predictions, and the production model are provided. The simulator immediately changes which percentage of patients most likely will be influenced in any direction, and the important factors are quantitatively represented. There is even an optimize button enabling to find the most optimal patient for this model. You also get your data, the weight by correlation, a correlation matrix based on all models used during the calculation. Up to now, this is quite new because anyone can understand how to initiate different predictive models, compare to their quality, and decide which model will be used depending on the context. Also, new patients can be entered in a simulator directly, showing the impact with regard to the outcome. take a look at this powerful part of AutoModel. For doing that, I will restart the previous process in AutoModel by using AutoModel or automatic feature selection, which is done by activating automatic feature selection, identifying the optimal column subsets and all optimal trade-offs between complexity and accuracy. As demonstrated, the initial features we used did not result in the most optimal balance between the number of features selected, which is with a certain predictive impact, and the effect this has on the error rate of the model. In contrast, we could reduce the number of features useful in our prediction, plus with a reduced error rate of the model. This is a huge step forward, as it enables us to re-evaluate all scores and grades we use in our clinical practice, ultimately searching for more up-to-date scaling systems which are more easy to use and reducing the time and money they consume. The next spec shortly demonstrated in this episode is feature generation. This task is more time consuming, but you can have it run in the background. As you can see, by calculating a combination of features, thus by generating new features, the complexity of the model can be reduced significantly, with an even larger reduction in error rate of the model used. Finally, each model provides a simulator, which can be used to enter the unique features of your next patient, directly reflecting the most likely outcome and important factors related to the prediction. This simulator is, in my opinion, a huge step in the direction of personalized medicine, and will definitely be a tool which has the potential for research in the coming years. To conclude, this episode demonstrated the new AutoModel extension, which showed how feature selection and feature generation can be used to increase the quality of our profession by re-evaluating grading, scaling, and scoring systems, and by integrating personalized medicine using the simulator tool in our daily practice. Thanks to my colleagues who were so kind to stay focused on new evolutions by making this research possible.